Hey guys, how are you doing? Thank you so much for the support. The channel is growing and a lot of people are enjoying the content. I cannot be more grateful. Thank you so much. Share with friends, subscribe, share. My thinking is somebody will learn from this and hopefully, make productive decisions. So thank you so much. I can't thank you enough, guys. I appreciate you guys in Cape Town, Johannesburg, the UK. Thank you so much. Ireland, the US. You guys are the best. I love you so much. Today I want to talk about why a lot of our friends and family who are coming from the UK are failing to settle in Zimbabwe or even to establish some sort of business. I've made some observations and I think that this video might just help somebody to plan ahead and to think ahead on what they need to do before they actually think of relocating back to Zimbabwe. You see, when somebody comes from the UK, you can always tell. These guys, they talk with confidence. You hear it in their accent. You can even feel it in their plans. They come back with fire, with dreams, with the vision to rebuild their country, and I admire that a lot. But after a few months, that same confidence begin to somewhat fade. The plans that once looked very clear, they start to blur out. The smile becomes tight, and slowly and quietly, you start to hear the words, Zimbabwe is not easy, Team Ramo. Zimbabwe kakaoma. So today I want to talk about why so many of our brothers and sisters from the diaspora, especially those from the UK that come here less often, fail when they come back home. It's not because they are lazy or maybe because they are proud, but because they come back to expect Zimbabwe that they left behind. And instead they find the country that has changed its rhythm. They find a country that has moved forward. You see, when someone has lived in the UK for 20 or so years, their thinking starts to change. Their trust grows deep, but only within systems. They are used to order, to fairness, the idea that if you follow the rules, things will just work. But here, in Zimbabwe, it's a little bit different here, man. Rules are not the rhythm. Relationships are. In Zimbabwe, things don't move because of systems. They move because of people. And people move because of survival. Guys. When people arrive from the UK, they have all the good intentions. And this is a beautiful thing. They come with Excel spreadsheets, architectural designs, drawings, beautiful drawings. But Zimbabwe naturally doesn't run on paper. Sometimes it does, but most of the time it does not run on paper. It runs on presence. It runs on patience. It runs on people's skills. And that's where it starts to fall apart for a lot of our people who are coming from the diaspora. They hire relatives, they trust family. Ndine cousin yangu anokwanisa kuzviita izvi. Then for some reason mari yotanga kudisappear. Cement yongoshayikwa. And then before you know it, the project collapses. I've seen it happen with poultry projects, solar installations, with rentals, with boreholes. The diasporan sends money every month. Pictures are sent to UK. Promises are made. The moment vachingosvika pa international Robert Mugabe airport, what they expected half spent money, half-heartedly done work, half done loyalty. Oda kuvunza manje kuti say. Let me tell you why. It's not because people here are evil. No, it's because you and them, you stopped communicating the same language a long time ago. When you left, you started beginning to live in a place where that was long-term thinking. You saved for the future, you build credit, you trust the system. But vanosara kuno kumanje, they learn to live for the day. Because tomorrow for most of us here in Zimbabwe, it's never guaranteed. So when you come home and say, if you do this well, I'll give you more jobs. If you do that, and I will reward you, they look at you and smile. But they'll just say, let me just take what I can, because tomorrow is another day. That is the first collision, not of money, but of mindset. You can't change that overnight, guys. You cannot import UK systems and expect them to work in a land still fighting to fight its own rhythm. And here's the hardest part, guys. Many who come back want to help their people. They genuinely want to uplift their people, to empower one another. But those same people may see you as a helper, but as a source. Pabate, guys. Pabate, papa. When go to the source of money. And a never-ending tap of opportunities. A never-ending tap of cash. It's painful to watch because what starts as hope slowly turns into heartbreak. The dreamer begins to doubt their own dream. And the one who come to build, they end up building nothing. And so what can we learn from these guys? We've come to realize that there are three things every diaspora needs for stepping back home. Number one is money, obviously, without doubt. And then the second one is mindset. And then the third one is actually knowledge. Now, I'll explain a bit. Money is obvious. Mindset, that's your strength if you can pull it together. But knowledge, guys, that's a hidden pillar that you must really pay attention to. And that's the one most people ignore. Knowledge of the ground, knowledge of people, knowledge of how to move in the rhythm of Zimbabwe. Because Kanyika Kanaka doesn't reject diaspora, it just tests them. It just asks you, can you adapt? Can you listen before you act? Can you trust wisely, not blindly? If you come with pride, Zimbabwe will actually humble you for sure. I've said this in another video. But if you come with patience, and if you come with wisdom, it will bless you. You see, those who succeed are not the ones with the most money, by the way. They are the ones with the most understanding. They take time to observe, to network, to learn the pace of the land. They work with professionals, not just relatives. They build partnerships, not just projects. They accept that you can't rebuild alone. It takes collaboration. Humility, it takes time. So to every brother and sister abroad listening to this right now, before you pack your bags and come back to Zim, pause for a little bit and ask yourself, am I returning home or am I running from home? Think about it. Because your return is not built on understanding. The soil can reject your roots. But if you take time to learn, to walk the streets again, to sit with people, to feel the heartbeat of this land, you will realize that Zimbabwe is not broken. It's just waiting for those that can read its language, I guess. Those who fail come back with blueprints. Those who succeed come back with open hearts. But if you can marry the discipline of the UK and the resilience of the local people, you will build something unshakable here. So don't just bring money. Bring your mind, bring your humility, bring your patience. Because the Zimbabwe that swallows the unprepared is the same Zimbabwe that rewards those that are wise. When the planes land pa Robert Mugabe airport and the suitcase takumarola, I want to pray that your feet will touch the ground, not as tourists of success, but as builders of legacy. The soil doesn't care where you have been. It only wants to know what will you plant when you return. So to every Zimbabwean watching this from afar, please remember this. Failure is not the end. It's just the soil preparing you for the harvest. The dream you carry was never meant to die in foreign land. It was meant to be tested out there so that you can grow stronger here. The same hands that built lives abroad can rebuild lives here. Zimbabwe does not need perfection. It needs patience. It needs people who believe that tomorrow can be better. So rise again, dust off the disappointments you've had, and return not only as somebody who is not running away from the struggle, but someone who is running away towards purpose. Because when your seeds begin to rise again, this soil back home will remember your name, not as one who failed, but one who came back and stood tall.